We're back for the weekly grocery haul today. I actually went to 4 different stores. What I do is I kind of make a loop around my town. We have a very small town and a limited number of stores that we can shop at for organic and healthy kinds of foods. So I usually have to go to each of them. When I'm shopping, I keep in mind prices that people are going to have to pay, and I keep in mind how difficult it might be for you to be able to find these things or use these things. So let's just start over here. I only got a couple things from Costco. I had a lot of things already, so I didn't need a lot of my bulk foods. But these two things, one is unsalted pistachios in the shell. They are roasted, but they are unsalted. They have only pistachios. They don't have any kind of added oils or other things in them or salt. I also bought this time a little bit of some roasted hazelnuts, which I haven't gotten before. When it comes to nuts, I don't necessarily worry about them being organic because they have an outer shell on them that you're going to take off and use the inner, the inner meat from the nuts there. So, and what I will be doing with these, I buy them in bulk. They are expensive. I buy them once in a while. And what I do is I buy a couple of these each time I go so that it doesn't break the budget. And also I keep them in the freezer to keep them fresh so that I can mix these nuts together as a mixed nut mixture that I can snack on or my husband can snack on. A mixture of nuts is going to be really, really good for your body, especially walnuts and almonds, but even like the hazelnuts, they're very good for your heart. All of these things have benefits all their own. They're not all of the same benefits for each kind of nut. So I'll be mixing that mixture and then keeping the rest of them in the freezer until it's time to use them. That way they don't go bad. Anything with oils can go bad if it's just sitting in a cupboard. So especially in the heat, which we don't have here right now. Then I went to Walmart. In Walmart, I did many of my usual things, the beans, the organic beans. These are garbanzos, great for fiber and all of the different things that we know you need to help fight cancers and tumors and things like that. I don't buy a lot of beans in cans. As you know, I usually cook them from scratch, but sometimes I do need that little bit of extra convenience of having a can of it. But we don't like to do that a lot because the inside of these cans has BPA. BPA is an endocrine or hormone disruptor, and it really does disrupt hormones in the body. So anytime you can get beans that haven't been in the cans, that's even better. Now these, interesting, this is a new thing I found at Walmart. This is just a smoky barbecue pinto bean mixture. It sounds really good. I've never tried it. This is organic. I really liked the ingredient list on the back here. It's very clean for the most part. Water, pinto beans, tomato paste, maple syrup, apple cider vinegar, sea salt, dehydrated garlic, spice, and onion powder. So some very clean ingredients, and I'll be interested in seeing how that works. There is a nice recipe that I like to use that is a sweet spicy bean mixture from Forks Over Knives. And it's a sweet spicy bean mixture. They use it as a breakfast over toast. We used it over, I think we put it over a grain for dinner, but either way, it was delicious. And this is just another maybe convenient food that I'll be using. Apples, we're getting Pink Lady apples right now. They are delicious. They're huge, but they are absolutely delicious. They're organic. There's my organic mini sweet peppers in the back. I get them all the time to use with hummus and dip. This one I haven't showed you that much before, lightly salted rice cakes. It's just rice, brown rice. And it is a whole grain, of course, and very low in calories. I like it because you can put nut butter on it, you can put hummus on it, you can eat it plain with a soup, like a cracker. They're really nice, and they are lightly salted, so some people won't like that. They need more salt, but I don't use a lot of salt, so I'm not used to it. The sun-dried tomatoes, I have been putting them in things to give it some flavor, but Interesting, I just realized they are not organic. That's kind of unusual for me to buy tomatoes that are not organic. If I buy them and they're organic, I usually buy them in jars rather than cans because I don't like the tomato getting into the inside of that can. So I won't be buying these a lot, but occasionally it's good to have to add some flavor. Here's my organic grape tomatoes. I buy those a lot. I use them in all my cooking. So I tend to use them more than canned tomatoes or jarred tomatoes or jarred tomato sauces. My snap peas made at home this week. I normally eat them on the way home, sometimes with hummus, and I did have a great hummus I bought. I'll show you in a minute, but I didn't get into those today. Lemons and limes, I'm gonna be doing some prepping. So I'm gonna be doing the juicing of the lemons and limes, putting them in ice trays to add to meals as I'm cooking so that I don't have to do that every time. Garlic is another one I'm gonna be prepping so that I'll be grating my garlic and putting it in a little Ziploc in the freezer so that I can just take out a clove of it at a time that's already grated. Really easy to use that way. A little bit of prepping. Broccoli sprouts. Broccoli has sulforaphane in it, and broccoli sprouts actually have 100 times more than a serving of broccoli. So sulforaphane is one of the best detoxification chemicals in your body, and broccoli sprouts, a quarter cup a day is a really nice amount of that really, really wonderful nutrient, sulforaphane. I was hungry when I was there. It was way past lunchtime. And I bought a beet citrus salad. The ingredients, really good ingredients. The only one that I probably wouldn't put in if I were making this at home would be the olive oil, because I don't generally add oils into my salads. But olive oil, if you're gonna have an added oil, that is probably the best one to have. Sea salt is added to the edamame. Again, this is not organic. This is a good protein snack. It has only salt and a little bit of salt and soybeans, roasted soybeans, but no added oils, which is very rare to find. I probably wouldn't buy this much at all. It was just like an emergency snack to go with my beet salad. And I wouldn't buy it because it's not organic. Because soy has phytoestrogens in it, high amounts, by the way, and they are the similar chemical structure as estrogen, so they go to the estrogen receptors in your body, which is fine. They help decrease the rates of breast cancer and things that are dependent on estrogen. But the other thing is that non-organic soy, sprayed with pesticides, also carries the pesticide, and the pesticide unfortunately has a very similar chemical structure to estrogen. So that means if you eat the soy and its attached pesticides, then they're all going to your estrogen receptors, which you really don't want. Let's go to this, Navitas. I picked this up because I was looking for a really nutrient-dense green to add to my dad's smoothie. He's doing some really good things with his diet and his health. He's trying to control a cancer that he has right now. And this particular superfood greens blend is made with moringa and kale and wheatgrass. And moringa and kale in particular are highly detoxifying, highly nutrient dense. And there has been some research using moringa to help stop the growth of cancers. So I bought that because I'm going to be going and visiting my mom and dad. I was able to get some Swiss water extracted decaf French coffee, and that was really important. I bought Swiss water extracted decaf because I like the fact that it is only decaffeinated through a water process rather than a petroleum-based process. This is the whole beans. We'll be grinding these up. It smells wonderful right now. So these things, the coffee, the superfoods and greens blend, edamame, the salad, citrus beet, and broccoli sprouts were from the Real Foods Market in my town. And then I went over to Natural Grocers because I couldn't find the tahini that I wanted. I'll come back to that in just a second. I got some miso. This is organic miso. I use it a lot for flavorings. It's quite salty, but you put it in a great big bowl or a great big pan of super stew or directly into your bowl just before you're going to eat it, and it just adds some great depth of flavor to whatever you're cooking. It's also used when you're making plant-based cheeses quite a lot. And this is the white miso. I think the white miso was actually, for some reason, it's dark, like dark red. This is the hummus I was going to tell you about. I like this brand. The only thing in this brand that I don't really care for was they do add some sunflower oil, but it is expeller pressed sunflower oil, so it's not extracted with heat, but rather with pressing, and that's going to be just a little cleaner process for the oil. All of the things that are in this, isn't that something? Again, I made a mistake. This is not organic. They do have organic in this product, but this one is not, unfortunately. I will be trying it anyway, obviously. I like hummus because you can take it with you. You can take it and have the sugar snap peas or the sweet little mini bell peppers, carrots, celery, anything. You can dip it in a lot of things. You can put it on the salted rice cakes. It's made with garbanzo, which is one of the most nutrient-dense beans you can buy, and loaded with fiber. So I'm just going to take advantage of this. It has onions. There's a lot of nutrition in all the things that are in here. So the chickpeas, tahini, which is sesame butter or sesame, it's just sesame seeds. That's all it is. Nutritional yeast, citric acid, garlic, shallots, black pepper, and crushed red pepper in that. So there's some good things in it. I'm a little disappointed, in fact, very disappointed it is not organic, because that brand does make an organic hummus. And then lastly, let's go over this tahini for a minute. So this tahini is just sesame seeds that are crushed up. There's no salt, there's no sugars. I use it a lot for dressings. It has a little bit of the flavor of like peanut butter, but it tends to be a little tiny bit bitter. If you're not used to it, you might not like that little aftertaste. I add it in a lot of things, especially dressings, because it has a lot of nutrition for your heart especially. It's just like any other of the seeds and things that we buy. We don't often know what the plant nutrients that are in it are doing for us, but they often work really well within the food, the whole food itself, much better than if you bought any of these things as supplements and just took a portion or one of the nutrients out of the food. I do want to say something about this company. I noticed recently, I read an article in Consumer Lab that I have a subscription to. Anyone can get a subscription to Consumer Lab for $70 a month, but it really does tell you a lot. They do a lot of research. It's an independent company that researches these different products. And one of the things that we're finding is that our foods have, it's not only that we have to worry about whether it's organic or not, many of our foods have cadmium in them because we have cadmium in the soil. And so this company makes a brand of sunflower seed butter, and it tested the lowest in cadmium of the different products they tested. And I think the sunflower seed butter has some salt in it, unlike the sesame butter, but it's still very, very good. I'm reading about cadmium in different foods. The first time I read about it was in chocolate, and there was a lot of controversy about it because we had it in a lot of different chocolate products that were available to us. And the second time I read about it was in flax. And flax, which is one of the things I forgot to buy this week that I needed, the flax made by Great Value from Walmart was found to be the lowest flax that they tested for levels of cadmium. Cadmium, unfortunately, is a cancer-causing heavy metal, and we can find it naturally in our soil, but some places that you get different foods from will have less of it in their soil. When it came to the sunflower seed butter, the products that were sourced from, I believe it was Romania and China, had the least amount of cadmium in the sunflower seed butter. Interesting fact though, the highest amount of cadmium that they found in the sunflower seed butters were the ones that were sourced from here in the United States, which was unfortunate. So I just think that more and more we're going to be looking at products in terms of their heavy metal content, because they must have better ways to test that right now. If this has been helpful for you, like it or share it with a friend. If you haven't already, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.